Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to start our session 15 of Python and Data Analytics Internship Program, October 2025. And today's topic will be data importing, cleaning, and pre-processing. What are the objectives that we are going to achieve through today's session are as follows. By the end of this class, you will understand what is data importing. We will discuss it in next coming up slide. How to read CSV and Excel files in Python. CSV and Excel files are basically type of files that on which we are going to perform some operations related to data analytics. CSV and Excel, these are basically extension which defines the type of file. Like text file is text files extension is .txt. Similarly, I will show you how a CSV file looks like. So similarly, CSV and Excel files are there. There can be other type of files also. But today we are going to focus on reading CSV and Excel files because many times the data is presented in this format only. And we have to perform our calculations and our logic on these file only to get what the data is saying to us. In order to understand what data want to tell us, we will perform some operations on these files, which will come under data cleaning, pre-processing, etc. We will look it in our further slides. And third, we will check what is inside a data set. Like I already told you, we will look how a CSV file looks like. And CSV file is our data set only. What is data set? Basically, a data set is a collection of data in one particular file. Okay. And we will perform operations on that data set. So when I will be saying like, okay, we are going to take a student data set, or we are going to take patient data set or a hospital data set. Data set can be of any type. It means we are journalizing the type of files. Those files can be of CSV, in CSV form, or in Excel form. Okay. Data set is basically a generalized term which we use in order to define our files. What are missing values and how to fix them? We will be going to learn about these also in upcoming slides. What are duplicate rows and how to remove them? And lastly, we will see basic data cleaning steps before analysis. So today's lecture will be a foundation for you in order to learn advanced data analytics. Today, we will establish a foundation where you can analyze that what are the things that are needed to be performed on data before it is ready to get analyzed. Okay, we will not be going in a very advanced form. Okay, I will tell you the basics here so that if the basics are clear, your foundation will be strong. And then when we perform EDAs later on, in this internship only, you will be able to connect why we are performing this step. That is the most crucial part in data analytics. You should know why we are performing this step. There is no hard and fast rule or a certain steps that you have to follow in every data set. You have to analyze yourself that what is needed, what the solution, what the problem is asking, which fields to be taken in order to give a solution, or in order to make a model that can predict something based on the data. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. What is data importing? So data importing is basically like there is a guest who has arrived on a railway station. Okay, and your father has told you go and pick him up and bring him into your home. So you will take your bike or vehicle and you will went to the station. From there, you will receive your guest and then bring him or her to your house. So the process of bringing that guest to your home is basically you are importing that guest. When someone comes inside your home or someone you like to invite to your home, it's importing. What is exporting? When you are going out. or you are sending something out of your house. Okay, like you are sending a parcel through post. ठीक है, India Post. So then you will write a particular address that you want to send it to that particular address. The postman will come. You will give him that parcel or your letter. He will take it. You are basically exporting it. Everything that comes inside your home, that is coming inside your home, is importing, and everything that is going outside your home is exporting. Similarly, these things happen in coding language also. When you want to bring a data set into your program, that process is called importing. Basically, your program is your home right now, and your data is your guest. So you want to import that guest into your home, that is into your program, so that you can perform some actions or some cleaning process or pre-processing process on that particular set of data. Okay. So this is what importing basically means. When you bring a data set into your program to perform some calculations or to analyze it, it's called importing. Okay. So real life data is usually stored in these formats like CSV files. I told you earlier. I will show you how a CSV file looks like. Excel sheets. You have seen, you or you might have seen these sheets in your desktop also, or in your college or in your school. Your data is basically maintained in Excel sheets also. A very common example, although it is not a digital one, it is a hard copy one. Like your attendance register. Okay, there are certain rows and columns, and your teacher mentioned your name and roll number in the first two columns, and then PPP according to the dates for that particular month. So that thing in digital form is called Excel, basically Excel sheet. Okay. So your data might be stored in CSV files, Excel sheets, or databases. What are databases? Databases are basically like you are filling a form, okay, and or you are registering yourself on Amazon, first time login or sign up. Okay, sign in you are doing. So what you will do is you will put your email, then you will put your password, name and age, etc., or your security question, then you save it. That data, when you click save button, went to the databases where basically they are present somewhere else in data centers. Data centers are those centers where we gather the data. So when you click save or sign up, that data from your local machine has been sent to the servers on the on which your data is stored. Why your data is stored? In future, if you want to log in into Amazon, then you can simply use your username and password. When you put your password and username, that data is getting fetched from the databases. Okay. Every e-commerce site or applications online, they uses databases to store your data. So your data can be stored in databases also. APIs. APIs are basically application program interface. It stands for application program interface. So APIs, if you want to use a service of third party into your program, then you use a certain key that that key you can consider as a unique combination of letters and words or a link. Through that link, you are able to access that third party server. For example, you want to use ChatGPT through your program. So what you will do is you will buy the API key of ChatGPT. API key is nothing. It is basically a combination of unique letters and password that is unique to you. Like your password is unique to you. Similarly, that API key is unique to you. And you will put that API key in your program. Through that, you will be able to access ChatGPT services in your program itself. You need not to open Chrome, you need not to open Edge, nothing. From your local program, you will be able to use ChatGPT services. So that is API. API is also used to store your data. When you send some request to ChatGPT, now your session data and your password, they are received by ChatGPT, and in response, when they are verified, you are able to receive the data. So let's not go in details. For now, focus on CSV and Excel sheets. Your data is also stored in databases and APIs. For now, you only have to remember this, but we will be performing operations on CSV and Excel files. So I told you earlier while taking NumPy lecture that NumPy is used to perform scientific calculations like mean, median, mode, etc. Okay, or used to generate 2D arrays, 3D arrays, multidimensional arrays, ND arrays, okay, matrices, and then we perform some operations on it. But pandas basically is used for data frame. There is one word data frame, which I told you earlier. The data frame is basically used to analyze your data, visualize your data, how your data is arranged, and perform some computations on that data. Okay. So pandas is a Python library that help us load these files easily. We will see how. For now, let's take this example. Import pandas as pd dfpd.read csv. Okay, I will show it to you with an example. First, this is our code. Okay, now this is session 15 data csv. Okay, I have created this file for you. In it, our data is arranged in this format like name, age, city, and score. Okay. Under the name, I have written Ria, Aman, Sonal, Karan, Meera, Amit. These are separated by comma. In CSV file, these entries are generally separated by commas. Okay. Under age 22, 24, here age is missing. I will show you this also in the upcoming code. Current 23, okay. City, Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, score 85, 90. So this is how our data is with us right now. I have only taken 7 lines for now, but it can be 7,000. Okay, it can be 70,000. No limit in it. Data, the more data you have, the more your model's accuracy will increase. As I told you earlier. Basically, right now, I want to clear your concept. So that's why we have taken a small amount of data. And this file that we are using session 15 data CSV, we called it as data set. Data set, a collection of data under one file. Is this whole uh, combination of name, age, city, and score is our data set for now. There can be any number of columns, any number of rows. Okay. So we are going to play with this data today in this session. Now we have to import pandas because we want to use the capabilities of pandas as PD. Okay. Now we want to create a data frame under the variable df. So we will use PD dot. First we have to read the file. We have to read this file. Right now our program doesn't know what session 15 data CSV is. So we are inviting this file into our program so that our program is able to understand what data.csv file means. Okay. In the very first lecture, I have told you Python is an interpreted language. It understands line by line. If I will not give Python this data CSV file, Python will not understand that what are you referring to. Okay, when I will use data CSV anywhere in our program, if the Python is not able to read it, then how can it perform calculations on it? It is basically like this. There is a book in the market. You don't know about that book. You don't know about the name of that book. You haven't read it once, and your teacher started asking questions from that book. You will not be able to answer any questions because you have never heard about that book. You have never read that book, and due to which you are not aware what are the contents of that book. So first, we want Python to read our file, read our data set. Since we are using CSV, so we will use CSV. Read CSV. We will use double brackets. Inside, we will use double quotes because our file name is a string session15.data CSV. Okay. So now we have instructed the Python. Okay, Python, import the capabilities of Pandas as PD. We want to generate a data frame. PD. Right now, we are basically not generating a data frame. We are simply reading that file. Remember how our data is arranged in this format. In the next, wait, let's run it first. No errors. But we are not able to see any output. So, okay, Python has read the data file. But how you will know that Python is able to read it? You can say, okay, tick mark is coming. Yeah, it is good. But for your visualization, what I am doing is basically I am printing that file. See, this is the capability of Python. We never told Python that data is separated by column. Oh, sorry, comma. Okay. We only told Python that the file that we are going to read is of CSV format. That's why we use the function read CSV. Python immediately went to that particular file that is present in your folder. It readed the content of that file. After reading the content of the file, Python is intelligent enough to describe that, okay, name, age, city, and score are column. Okay, like this. And under these columns are the data that is written in it. Ria, Aman, Sonal, Kiran with their age, city, and score. See here. Now, if you are looking it very carefully, then you are able to see something like this: NaN, 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 NaN. What this NaN basically means? Okay, let's move to a CSV file now. In this, you are able to see, like in the second line, I have Ria, I have Ria's age, I have Ria's city, and I have Ria's score. In the second line, in the third line, I have Aman, but I don't have Aman's age. Although I have two commas in it, age is missing. That is missing value here. Mumbai, then 90. So what Python has done, every data that is not present in that particular file, it will mark as null. Nothing basically. Okay. So NaN, it basically shows missing values. It is a placeholder for missing values. Remember this. Okay. So for now, let's be clear. We have instructed the Python. Okay, Python, we have this data CSV file with us. Please read it. Python has read it. And then uh, it has displayed the content of that file in a very user understandable format. Okay. Let's move to the next slide. So this is how we will import our data set in our program. Now, understanding CSV files. CSV files are comma separated values, as I told you right now. Looks like an Excel sheet, rows and columns. Each line is a row, each value is separated by comma. So we have done this part. This is how we will read the CSV file. pd.read CSV. We will mention the name of the file. Here is student.csv in the example, but in our we will use the file name that we are using. Okay. You can also customize it like delimiter comma. What is this delimiter basically? When you read an Excel file, I told you that these are separated generally by comma. What if they are separated by some other letter? Then you can specify that, okay, Python, please understand this, that while you are reading this file, students.csv, remember, whenever you encounter a comma, it means data is separated from the first column, like name, comma, then age. So comma indicates that name and age are different columns. So we are, sorry, we are basically instructing Python to analyze the data, to break the data based on that delimiter. Okay, it is nothing but right now understand this how to read CSV file. Reading Excel file, like we read CSV, similarly we can read Excel files also. Nothing hard and fast rule or nothing difficult. Instead of read CSV, you have to read you have to use read Excel. Okay. This is the only difference between them. Otherwise, there is no difference. Remember, if you have used Excel, there in Excel you have sometimes sheet number one, sheet number two. Data is presented in different sheets. So if you want that your Excel file contains 10 sheet and you want to read only the content of seventh sheet, so you can customize it by writing sheet name equal to sheet 2 or sheet 7. Okay, this is the only difference. Baki everything is normal or everything is same. So this is how we will read Excel files. What are sheet in Excel? Basically pages of a book. Remember it in that way. Now these are some operations that you will see very often while we do EDAs or data analytics. Okay, data analysis. Remember these functions by heart. Df dot head is used to show a certain set of rows from top basically. I will show you how. Tail shows the bottom number of rows specified by you. Info shows the column names and their data types. Describe shows numeric statics. We will see in the example. Wait. So df dot shape, this shape function we have used earlier also while we were teaching you NumPy and Pandas earlier. Shape is used to show how your data is arranged in rows and columns. Columns is used to show only the column names. So let's see how these functions perform. Uh, so now we have imported our data. As I told you, this is how our data looks right now. Now what we are going to do is we want to use df dot head and see what this head does. Okay, I want my first three rows. So I will specify three and then I will run it. So here you can see we have got three entries only from our this particular data set. You will be wondering what is the use of this. Currently, as I have shown you, we are dealing with only seven entries in data set right now. But what if our data set contains 15,000 entries or 70,000 entries, lakhs of entries? So you are not able to interpret that what and how your data looks like. It is basically a huge amount of operation, and you will only keep on scrolling. Okay. So what we do is basically we took a part of that data, understand that part of data, and then came to a conclusion by using our logical thinking that what we have to use, what column we have to remove, where are the none values, or which things are required. If suppose you have 100 columns and you only require four columns. So to understand that, you need to understand a small set of data first. That's why we took a small set of data from large set of data. It can be three, it can be two. If it is two, then only two entries we will get. Okay, this is what df dot head is. Now we will see about df dot tail. Now I have written here three. So let's see what tail three gives. See. Now it is giving us the last three columns of our data set. If our data set has 15,000 entries, it will give us in the output only the last three columns of that, last three rows of that particular data set. Right now we have seven. From that seven, we are having these three, four, five, three entries. Okay, this is what tail does. Head gives us the top rows, tail gives us the bottom rows specified by you. Now we have other function df.info. See, name, it has given us the non null. Basically, it cannot be null. It is name is of object type, age is of float 64, city is of object type, score is of float. Float 64, basic 64. Please don't get confused by 64. This is float object and this is float. Okay. These are the data type of our columns. Similarly, wait, we can use df dot describe. Okay. Now see carefully here. I told you in the slide that describe function is used to show numeric statics. Numeric statics are count, mean, standard deviation, mean, minimum, 25%, 50%, 75% max. Okay. These are basically the computations that we perform using NumPy. But we are not performing here any calculation and we cannot use these calculation in our program. If we want to find mean, we have to use NumPy. But it gives us the idea that what our mean age is, what our mean score is. We want to use our mean age or mean score in our program or not. What if we are using mean, then why we are using mean? Okay, we this is our deviation, this is our minimum value count. So these are all the things basically which you will came to know after we have done EDA or in the upcoming lectures. Right now, remember, if you want to get a feel of statical status of your data or statically analyze your data so that you can understand it better, you can use df.describe to know that what how your data looks like. Now with us we have other functions like shape, columns. They are similarly they can perform like column will give us the column name, age, score, and shape will give us the rows and columns. Okay. Remember these functions, they are very important during data analysis. Now what are missing values? In the example, I told you that Aman doesn't have his age. Okay, Ria has his age. Like here you are also able to see. So the missing value in Aman's line is the missing value basically. Empty or blank cells in data that Python represented as NaN. Okay, so that is missing value. And these missing value basically pollutes our data when we do data analysis. These are considered as noises or waste. Okay, they doesn't help us, but they can reduce the accuracy of our model or of our prediction. So any data analyst will not have will not try to have any missing values in the data that they are using. So what they does is basically they remove that missing values or replace that missing values with some other values that will not get that will not have any effect on our data analysis or on our model. So why they are bad? They break calculations. As I told you, they are basically noise. They are only here to disturb us, not to help us. That's why missing values are very bad, and we have to deal with them. Models become inaccurate, as I told you. The accuracy of model decreases. Everyone wants that their model's accuracy should their model should have high accuracy, because the high accuracy the model has, the more truthful results it will give. Like it has told you about 10 scenarios. From that 10 scenarios, 9 will be correct, then it means 90% is our model's accuracy. But if 50%, then 5 will be correct, 5 will not be correct, and it has a very negative impact on us. Suppose you are making a model for basically stock market. In there, you have to deal with money, and you can lose a lot of money if wrong decision is taken. And that wrong decision is taken due to the lack of accuracy in your model. The higher the accuracy of model, the lesser are the chances of getting wrong decision. That's why these missing value affect our models accuracy, they make it inaccurate. Charts look wrong, like when you will use Matplotlib, the visualization that you will be getting from the dirty data that I am using dirty word for missing values. The data that is having missing values from the dirty or noisy data. Okay, the charts that you will be seeing through Matplotlib are not accurate. They are not standardized, or they will not give a right sense of data, right sense about the data, or right statics about the data. Okay, that's why missing values are very bad and we have to handle them. So how to handle missing values? First, let's see how to find missing values before handling sorry, for before handling missing values. Okay, so let's see. We will use df dot is null, then we will run it. Okay, now false, 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 false. True. True means yes, this area has missing value. False, false, false. True. It means this area has missing value. So what this function is doing, it is reading, it is basically telling us which column has missing values, which cell has missing values, and which do not have missing values. So every cell that is represented by true, it means that cell has missing values. Now we want to count that how many missing values we have. So we will use some function in order to sum it up. So name doesn't have any missing value. Age column has two missing values. City doesn't have any missing value, and score has two missing values. Okay, as you can see in the above also. NA in age 2, score NA 2. Okay, it means both of these columns are having two missing values. So now we are able to understand that okay, this column has this missing value. Now I told you we have to remove that missing value or we have to replace that missing value. To remove, you can simply drop that particular row. Sorry. In order to remove that, you can simply drop that particular row by using df.drop na, and it will drop that particular column. But we doesn't use this very often, because if you drop the whole row, it means all the details of that particular candidate are removed. So either you can fill it with 0, or you can fill it with average, okay, or you can fill it by text. These are the way to deal with the missing values. We will replace it with some other values, like in this particular example we are replacing it by 0, or you can replace it by average. Average doesn't have any effect when you will do calculations. It will not have any effect on that calculation. Fill with average or fill with text data. So let's fill it with 0 first. Okay, fill NA with 0, and then we will run it. Now see, every column that were having NA are now replaced by 0 value. When you add 0 in something, it doesn't have any effect. It's a simple logic. I already told you that it depends on your logic how you are going to deal with the data. From here onwards, we can show you a variety of ways, but you have to choose which way to take. Okay, like we have taken 0. If we add 22 plus 0, it will become 22 only. So it will not have any effect. You can replace it with average also. In order to calculate the average, you have to use it like this: df dot age column. First, you have to tell Python, okay, Python, I want to replace a data frame in age column, and fill that value in the age column with its mean. Mean is basically for average. Okay, let's see how. So we will tell Python, okay, Python df, you have to do it here. Df in the age column dot, okay. Now we have to specify like fill NA. You have to fill DF age column. Okay. Why we are getting only age column? Because we are printing age column here only. Okay, that's why we are getting age column. But see, like in we were having missing value in one. First row represented by one. Under age we have NAN after 22, but now we have 23.5, which is basically the mean of that particular age column. How to calculate mean? Add all the values in this particular column and divide by the number of entries, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you will get the mean. So now we have replaced it with mean. That's why here some concepts of math comes in, but don't worry because these are the only things that you will learn, like mean, median, mode. Nothing more complex will come. You should know what mean is, what mode is, what average is. Mean and average basically is similar thing. So you can replace it with mean also. You can replace it with text also. If you define that, okay, df name dot fill na, any value that doesn't have name will be filled by unknown. Okay, need not to worry. So remember this, as soon as we get the data, we need to know if any missing values is present in it. If any missing values are present in it, then you have to replace those missing values with some values of your own that doesn't have any effect while performing some calculations. For that, you can use zero or you can use mean. Okay. Sometimes you can also drop the whole row also. Now handling duplicate data, but since our file doesn't contain duplicate data, so I will explain it here only. Duplicate records cause incorrect analysis. Check duplicates. Why incorrect analysis? Suppose in our data like we have Ria. Ria's age will get added two times. Okay. If we want to take an average, it will get added two times if we have duplicate rows. So what it will give us, it will basically affect the calculations. It will reduce the accuracy. It will make our data less accurate. It's my screen visible. So it will reduce the accuracy. It will basically perform incorrect calculations and we will get the incorrect results and our model will get the incorrect result, as a result of which the accuracy of model decreases and the predictability efficiency also get decreases. That's why we need to remove duplicate data. Now we have removed missing values. After removing missing values, you should remove your duplicate data. For to check duplicate, you only have to use df.duplicate.sum. It will give you the count of duplicate values like we have done for missing values. Now you have to remove those duplicates from your data set. So df.drop duplicates is basically used to drop all the rows that are having duplicate values. If Ria is getting is occurring two times, okay, it will keep only one copy of Ria and other copy of Ria will get deleted. In place equal to true, we are using it here so that our data is get replaced in that particular file which we have used. Okay, it will not create a modified version. Sorry. Okay, so in place equal to true basically is used to replace those values in that particular file only. Once you have changed the, once you have deleted the row, it will not get replaced or it will not get undo again. Okay, data processing techniques. These are the techniques that you will be going to use during your data processing. Okay, now we have removed the missing values and the duplicate values. But after that, there are some certain types of techniques that you have to use in order to make your data more accurate. Okay, so for that, you have to remove unnecessary columns that are not required in your data analysis. Okay, so like I told you earlier, you have 15,000 columns. Now, from that 15,000 columns, only four are of your use, which are going to be used for making our model. So for that, other columns are basically waste for us. So why to deal with all those columns if we are not needing them? Okay. Therefore, we should remove all the unnecessary columns that are not required in our that particular data analysis of that particular data set. So remove unnecessary columns. Second, rename columns for your ease. Okay, you can rename a name, a student name equal to name. Okay, or a name column to student name. Okay, score into marks. They are basically for easier to make the calculation easier and to make predictions or visualization of your data in a very good manner. Convert data types. Sometimes you need to convert data types from one type to another. Like you don't want to deal with floating values, you only want to deal with integer values. Okay, so you have to convert those values according to your need, according to the need of data set. Convert data types also, like in the example we have shown you df price. So it is basically telling that okay, take the price column. In that price column, set the data type of price as float, so that every value in that price column will become a floating value. And data type has a very significant effect on data, as you have seen in Python. Okay, suppose you are dividing 5 by 2. If the data type is int, it will give you only 2. Okay, but you want that the result should be in a decimal value like 2.5. Then you should use floating value. You cannot use integer value there. Therefore, you will convert that integer value into floating value. Then you will perform some division and you will get in the decimal format. So that's why we will sometimes convert data into data, sometimes convert the data types, strip extra spaces. Like missing values affect our analysis. The spaces in front of data or at the end of data also creates a noise. Noise is basically a term used for signifying that the data is corrupted. So we have to remove extra spaces there. Standardized text formatting. It should not be like this, that some text is in another format, some is in another format. It will create some inconsistency or irregularity between the data. So we have to regular data in a very standard format and handle outliers. Okay. So these are some techniques that you will perform during data analysis. Let me see, I can show you one. Okay, let's see one example of data processing. Like I want to drop a column. Data.drop. I will use columns equal to. Then I will specify the column. Right now I am specifying it as city. Okay. And I am setting it in place equal to true so that my changes are reflected in the original data set. In place equal to true. Let's see what happens. Now the operation is getting performed and I want to print it here. It is wait. Sorry. Print df dot column. Should not give an error. Why I am getting that? Let's set in place for now false. Please. I think there is some problem with column city, but like it is getting performed on column age very specifically. I don't know why this is happening. But now, as you can see, earlier we were having column city, but it is now getting dropped. Only we are only having our column as name, age, and score. Okay, city is already deleted because we were using in place na earlier, but we have not printed at that time. Now the changes are permanent. City is already removed. It will give an error because column city doesn't exist in our data set since we have run it once before get we write we have written df dot head. I have performed this operation na. It means that city is get deleted at that time only. Like I can show you with name also name. Then after that we will do df dot drop head. Now city is not coming. Okay, now we have performed this operation. We have dropped name column name as name. Now let's see if name is get removed. Okay, now it is removed. So what was the error earlier was when we dropped the column. I told you Python is an interpreted language, but this time I it skipped my uh, mind only. Like Python will read this line. After that, Python will read this line. In this line, I have told Python to remove the name column. But again, I am trying to access that column once it is get deleted. If a value is get deleted, how can Python return it back? Okay, that was the thing that is happening earlier. Now what we have done, we have deleted the column name here, and then we told Python, okay, show what data is left with us. Then Python has given us that only age and score is left with you. City and name column has been deleted by you. Okay, so this is how some processing will get performed on the data. Similarly, you can delete unnecessary columns as I had shown you. Rename the columns, convert the data types like this, remove extra spaces. Okay, these are the things that you can perform. And please go through this in deep using other sources also so that your foundation is strong. Once your foundation is strong, it becomes very easy for to analyze the data. Your assignment for this session will be display first and last five rows using head and tail. We have to use it. Show info and describe, clean missing values, remove duplicates, and pre-process at least two columns. Either you remove the columns or you remove the spaces or you change the data types. Whichever thing you want to perform, you can perform at least two pre-processes on some columns. Okay. You have to submit your URL on this form. If you need any help and support, please contact us here. And thank you for joining today's session.